Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently Monday, January 21st, 2013, and this is Day 9 Daily number 545, where we learn to be a better gamer, and we have lost weight. And by we, I mean I lost some weight. Some weight, a non-zero amount of pounds, or kilograms if you're from Europe. And by Europe, I mean basically everywhere that isn't America. Only America says pounds. And maybe British people for other purposes. Yeah, that's right. Welcome to Funday Monday on the Day 9 Daily, where ordinarily we learn to be a better gamer, but on Monday we dedicate to dicking around. It is thrilling to be here and to discover, upon a mere 3 weeks eating healthily, that the key to losing weight is not to shovel food in your mouth until your whole body hurts. When I've eaten Del Taco to the point where I can feel it having pressure on my eyes, then I've eaten too much, and that's generally when I stop. And now I'm just eating healthy food, eating not a ton of food. And when I do try to binge, I can't even fit it in my tummy. It has shrunk. It is oh so small, and I feel oh so good. Good enough that I'm wearing this jacket in a room that's already about 80 degrees because I don't give a damn. Now that I have this beautiful body, ooh, any jacket's an appropriate condiment. I didn't actually lose that much. I lost some. And it was non-zero, so I got excited. I as a 6'3" tall man, that's actually 6'4", I remeasured. 6'4", that's 76 inches, and I am 222 pounds, which is about 3 pounds per inch. And now I'm to about 208. I want to get my PPI down. I want to get my pounds per square inch to something closer to 2.5 instead of 3. So, let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, yes. Stripping it off, and let us begin the great debate. Which is better, StarCraft or asteroids? Oof. Ooh, it's getting sexual up in this daily. Let's talk a little bit about why on earth you're here today. It's Fun Day, frickin' Monday, whereby we play StarCraft 2 under some constraint that makes for more interesting gameplay. Something that creates uniqueness in the gaming space because it's often so intimidating with those 14, 15 units available to us now in Heart of the Swarm. Which one do I choose at what point in time? Don't worry, Day 9 will tell you everything. This week, you may only have at most 1 barracks and 1 factory. That's it. You can have as many starports as you want, but only 1 barracks and only 1 factory at any point in time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Sky Terran Funday Monday, and I hope that many people will be using Das Reaper and Das Wiedermine to set themselves up for a broad mass expenditure setup and then transition into a beautiful use of their flying air units. Most of the games looked horrible, so we're going to look at those ones today. Wonderful to have you here. I'm so happy you joined me. Let me just note before we step into the introductory game of this here Funday Monday that I am leaving tomorrow. I am going to Paris. I will be gone until the 30th. Don't worry, Day 9's day off will return that Friday where I'll play Bastion for about 10 hours, basically until I beat the damn thing, because that game is rad. I'll be doing that then, and in between now and then, I'll just be uploading videos of me playing faster than light. And of course, the whole reason I am off and away in Paris is for the Iron Squid, the French-run tournament by the amazing and wonderful Bonf Etude. Iron Squid, as you'll note in French, is Iron Squid. So I will be casting that on Friday at the Palais de Congrès, and I sincerely hope you tune in, because it's Life vs. Marine King Prime and ST vs. Dongray Goo. Ooh. Ooh. Let's hop into the games. Oh, that's the wrong button. Let's hit the correct one. Do you like this? This is the arbitrary me floating in space. Hey guys, oh my god, the replay bar. It's showing, don't worry. Hey, look, we're cool, right? Everyone's cool? Everyone's cool. All right, look. Let me be one of those streamers. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have tuned into a stream like this where the person just doesn't quite know how to situate their webcam properly. They just don't quite understand, you know, the way to do it. They're like, all right, it's time to ladder and to micro. And they're like, all right, so I'm going to be selecting these workers here, and I want to send them to mine. My opponent spawns, you can just barely see on the map right there. There's the opponent. We're not going to be that guy today. We're going to be this guy. We're going to have a clean, organized, suave, sexy, gorgeous interface. Like, seriously, this is like an Apple-esque interface. If only this could be black and white. There we go. We have, down in the bottom left, our hero, Vivern. And in the top right, we have World Ranker. Now, per usual, the game that we always play with ID names is this name an ancient historian, a pharmaceutical product, or a Pokemon? World Ranker is definitely a Pokemon. I cannot imagine taking some pharmaceutical product called World Ranker. It's like, doctor, I have this bright red rash on my neck. What's that? He's like, you need to take some World Ranker, because that's a hickey, my friend. Hey-o! And of course, down in the bottom left, Vivern. I can't decide if that's a pharmaceutical product or an ancient historian, but we're going to go with a female ancient historian down in that bottom left. Oh. Now, Vivern is starting off quite smartly. Vivern's saying, well, Day9, if you said that you can only build air units in this Sky Terran Funday Monday, then I'm going to go ahead and get me some gas early. I'm not going to be the Beano Terran and have absolutely no gas. I am going to go straight for that tech play. And interestingly, we see Vivern not going for the Marine first, but going for the Reaper first, utilizing none other than the heart of the swarminess, the ultra-fast, regen, healthing Reaper that Zergs are just freaking out about. All Zergs. Alright, are we good on sound? Did the sound die? Do we have sound? Good old sound dying. Now, I will note, one of the most interesting aspects about the new Reaper is that it's so deadly, we can't talk about it. It's like one of those confidential top secret government documents where you open it up and there's like lines blacked out and you're like, oh, what was Operation Jungle Bench? Why would they put a bench in a jungle? What's the use in that? I don't want to have a place to relax. Actually, that's a smart play. I want that. I'm going to assume it was a government top secret relaxation protocol defense national security mechanism. And here's same thing. Same frickin' thing. Let's just go ahead. Dear Marky, is all things good in regard to the sound. Marky, for any of you who do not know, the wonderful head-to-chat moderator of Day9 TV, will be my eyes and ears and nose. Why don't they do that in those top secret agent movies? Why don't they do that? Why don't they say... Agent Pelican, you're going to be our eyes and nose in this case. If you see or smell anything, report back to us. And if you hear, talk to Franklin. Heading back into that there gameplay, we see World Ranker. World Ranker. That there good old pharmaceutical product. Up in the top right corner, doing his usual thing, getting double queen, which you might call double fair. And you see, Vivern starts off as we speed this game up to be able to get to these 6 games that I have oh-so planned for today. Vivern is going to be doing what I would call smart transitioning. He opens up with this sort of double Reaper harassment. Sure, some queens poke and hurt him and wound him a little bit, but of course, Reapers kind of have that sticks and stones may break my bones. Words can never hurt me, and in fact, sticks and stones I'll just heal over a short period of time, so no big deal. And all World Ranker and associated Zerg players think that's total bullshit. So this is what I think I'm excited to see in the upcoming future of Zerg versus Terran, where a Zerg starts out and just does a ridiculous mass of seemingly excess defense. 3 Reapers, goodness, he hit the R button 3 times. He's either setting a rally point in StarCraft 1 or he's in the mood to win in StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. World Ranker actually having to build yet another spine crawler. Oh, danger zone. Danger zone. And of course, Vivern doing the usual. Transitioning to the Reaper. Why would we be getting a reactor factory? Because none other than the Widow Mine. Yes. Do you see the smoothness of that transitory transitioningness? World Ranker, look at this doofy spine crawler up in the... Oh my gosh. This is like a guy who guards the inside of the bathroom. Ugh. This is just the poor, embarrassing internal defense security force, the spine crawler, who just has to sit there getting reports from the front line, feeling a little bit useless, and in fact, he is. This is the worst pain ever. You don't even cover the thing that you're supposed to cover, man. I don't know why there would be a guard in the bathroom, but I guess I really don't want people taking baths when it's a matter of national security. And indeed, that's what World Ranker would do, were he in charge of the Secret Service. President Barack Obama would never be able to take a bath without the full and well knowledge that he could get himself squeaky clean without the invasion of people with knives and guns and bombs and other associated things that are really a pain in the ass when I'm trying to get clean. So we see that after a little bit of excess micro, a little bit of darting here and there, Vivern has done an adequate job. Harassing all said things. And look at this. Oh, man. Oh, this is so embarrassing. The Zerg player builds the Evo chamber at the front to prevent Hellions from getting in, and the Evo chamber at the back to prevent the Reapers from getting in. I love that. That is awesome. The doggy door is a security concern. Put an Evo chamber in front of it. Zerg logic. Zerg logic. Oh, yes. Down at Camp Vivern. He has decided to go into bunker mode, getting himself up his Widow Mines. All's looking so far so good, except only now is Vivern able to actually begin the air tech. And ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, I present to you Micro. This is something else. Let's go ahead and burrow our mines under this Overlord. This technique is the distant cousin of seeing an Overlord and building an engineering bay and building turrets under the Overlord. The burrow of the Widow Mine directly underneath the Overlord to take it out. Ha-ha! He's supply blocked! I hope he doesn't attack for another minute because I have nothing. Excellent. Here he comes. Vivern! Doing all the burrowing. And this is where the strategy breaks down a little bit, but that's okay. Vivern, I believe in him. He's going to do a little bit of harassment. World Ranker doing what any Zerg player would do. Watch Stefano and be convinced that the Roach is the new hip thing on the block. No reason not to think Roaches aren't the new hit thing. They were popular in the beta, and it's just like the regular hipster scene. Things that were popular like 20 years ago are all good. Let's just mash them all together in this amalgamation. The good old Roach. Let me drink a Pabst Blue Ribbon, pop my collar while adjusting my Livestrong bracelet on my stupid bicycle that has the handlebars that bend back like this and my helmet that goes back like that. And as I ride home and brake using the levers instead of the handles, I'll sign into my computer and build some Roaches. The hipster Zerg. Let's do this, man. Come on, guys. Let's embrace our identity thing. These pants are so tight, and it's hard to play this style, being as aroused as I am. Running Roaches around the left side. World Ranker is going to go ahead and do an interesting move with these Roaches. He's going to do what the Mayans called sacrificing. He's going to do what people call the needless murder of innocent lives. Now, World Ranker is doing the ever so interesting rat race maneuver. He's moved all the way to this left side. He's moved down this left entrance to this expo, and he's going to cut all the way back right again, because World Ranker was tricked into thinking that this map is Desert Oasis. So now as he moves along to do the innocent sacrifice of these units, he inadvertently stumbles across something that will cause learning. Something that will cause his brain to go, oh, I nailed it. He sees this command center and goes, dude, you gotta do the S pattern every time you move out with the Roaches. Apologies for the drool. Vivern's gonna go ahead and go for it, man. A cancel. from World Ranker. Vivern is going to show up with his air forces. Now keep in mind, Terran can fly their buildings. Terran can fly a command center, such as this one, over to this location. Terran can build a command center here. He can build a command center here. He doesn't need to build it right here, or specifically right here. Vivern doesn't need to do that, but that's okay because Vivern is going Sky Terran on Funday Monday. He's committed to doing absolute, undeniable, indubitable silliness. And I can respect that. So now World Ranker's sending yet another sacrificial roach to do some excess scouting, and Vivern could lift at any point after this command center is done. But no. Committing. A couple Reapers show up, dead. Super dead. Vivern, even though he's going for Sky Toss, he has some leftover funds. If I were him, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansions, and note that I can almost build 2 command centers per open expansion. But that's okay. We're going to see World Ranker force a lift and a repair. Now this is where I have to hit the fast forward button, because this is looking a lot like the epilogue to Lord of the Rings. Let me show you something that's depressing. Let me show you something that just hurts my soul. The new Seeker missile. Okay, let's watch it in action. The new Seeker missile. Here it is. These Seeker missiles have target fired the sacrificial lambs of World Ranker, and then they get out of range and they fall like silly little duds. It is as though it is a recording of me trying to play basketball in high school. Just things falling to the ground, nowhere near anyone or anything. However, if we do land a Seeker missile nearby, such as here, works pretty good! Works pretty damn good! Oh, yes. Conditionally excellent spells. So suave. It's kind of like if a girl comes up to you. I don't know why she's coming up to you. Screw that. You're assertive. You go up to her and you say, "Darling, can I have your number?" And she starts giving you the number. She can't resist. And you're not doing anything. You're just looking at her. And she says, "Aren't you going to write it down?" And you say, "Baby, I'm not going to forget something worth remembering." So smooth! As long as you're actually talking to a human and not a wall. Location, 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 right? These were not the most effective Seeker missiles until these roaches were pressed deeply up against this wall of supply depots. So now Vivern, with his excessive money, going to go ahead and spend a little bit of the money building command centers that are known as a tool for getting money. There's no reason for this circular usage of resources, but when you have the money to blow, why not? It's that very American style of ruining your health to earn a lot of money, so that way when you're old you can spend all your money to get your health back. Very, very philosophical sort of statement today, but that's okay. Command centers have always been known to be something about philosophy. As we move right along, Vivern's going to go ahead and get the setup. This is the game where I was just wondering how many sacrificial lambs World Ranker was willing to provide forth, but again, very much so like the Mayans, World Ranker always has at least 15 virgin roaches to spare. And you know those guys are virgins because everything's made out of a larva. Right? Seriously, the Queen's in charge of that. Gosh, I bet you guys have never had the same ant problems that I have. That's the insult I use whenever I come to my room and see that there's an army of ants having found a crack in the wall, eating all my food. These stupid virgin ants, I just burn all of them with frickin' Raid-Off, or whatever it's called. Grants kills ants is what I use. It's great. Totally murders them all, and then I can go back to consuming copious amounts of donuts. Oh, excellent. Now, in the meantime, Vivern is doing his best to clear things out, doing his best to find us what we call the end of the game, because I'm not going to lie. This example game was the canonical submission from people of Funday Monday. Most people submitted a game where a little bit of dilly-dallying began at the start with Reapers, Widow Mines, etc., and then they transitioned into sitting on a bunch of bases, getting a whole bunch of air units, which is fine. Banshees sometimes did harassing runs. I figured that this would be a reasonable introductory game so I could show you what about 90-95% of games that I received. However, there's an important lesson that I wanted to present in this particular game from World Ranker versus Wyvern. It's coming up very soon, as we only have a few minutes left in the game. Let's go ahead and ×8 it in a way that will no doubt cause tremendous frame dropping and lag for people who are not watching on that crisp 720p. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Coming up, we have World Ranker getting the ever world-famous army of Heart of the Swarm units, right? The good old Heart of the Swarmy. Now this is a little bit of a treat. Let me go to the Units Lost tab. Oh no! Vipers! Killing off all our Ravens. We have a handful of battle cruisers. Perhaps a gaggle of battle cruisers, if you will. A little bit of killing, a little bit of scanning, a touch of regrouping, and I just want you to see that this army is not tiny. This is not a tiny army. This number of Seeker missiles is not tiny. This is not a tiny number of Seeker missiles. Look at the Units Lost tab. We have it at 18k. Oh. Awesome! Oh my god, and Wyvern, unprovoked with a ha 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 ha. Oh my gosh, Wyvern turning into an uncontrollable mad villain laughter. You have just died, World Ranker. Go back to curing hickeys. Yes, World Ranker. Oh, let me just hit that B button and see that glorious explosion yet again. Here comes the advancing army of World Ranker. What once was 170. Hey guys, what's 172 plus 8? Interestingly, it's only about 100. It's only about 100, which is not what I would have thought. I would have thought 176 plus 8 would oftentimes be 184, but nope. Wyvern doing an unbelievably educational lesson in mathematics for us today. Ooh, that's Heart of the Swarm. Now let me just tell something that will tickle your fancy. Those Raven Seeker missile upgrades are exactly 75 energy. If you get the Corvid reactor, and I believe Corvid is a family of owls, he said, doing an amazing job as a knowledge-based commentator. The Raven has 75 energy. It can, if you research the Corvid reactor, it can pop out and just cast a Seeker missile. Isn't that tantalizing? Isn't that titillating and downright boner-inducing? Yes, yes it is. We now have gotten ourselves the introduction to this week's Funday Monday. When we come back, we're going to see an individual truly dedicate to the art of going Funday Monday by not merely going for a Sky Terran style, but by rushing for it. We'll be back in about, I don't know, let's say 2 or 3 minutes. We're on a break. See you in